Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 24th of December. It is Christmas Eve. Uh, well, we are celebrating Christmas the German way in this house, so we will give our presents tonight, and the big gathering will be tonight, followed by Christmas dinner tomorrow. And we really should remember what it is we're celebrating. And that is that a light came into this world, a knowledge was given that should save us. So, and I think Jesus did. It's only he showed both the good and the bad, and then people got completely confused what good and bad actually is. Although it should be straightforward. Anyway, I want to talk today about do not do unto others what you do not want to be done to yourself. I want to speak about Psalm 82, which I think is extremely important to understanding what is happening here. Also a line in the Gospel of Thomas, and I think that line is repeated in the Gospel about 2 or 3 times. So I think that is of great importance to understand what it is we are, what it is we're in, and what the hell is going on around us. And then evidence-based, going by what we can see in this world, because this is the fruit of the Spirit. You cannot see Spirit, you cannot see the forces, you cannot see the energies that create, but you can by what is created. You see the outcome, you see what it moves, you see what it creates, and then by that you can reason what it was that moved it, created it, and so on. Which again is the Hermetic way of looking at these things. But then, of course, first of all, you need to come into a mindset that the solid and the spirit are not separated. There is no separation. They are cause and effect. There is no separation between the cause and the effect. The effect will be according to the cause. Anyway, very important, don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself. And I tell you why. I show you why you shouldn't. I mean, it should be obvious, but there's a deeper meaning to that. On the level of energy and vibration, I think there's a meaning to that, why you shouldn't do it. So first of all, let me start with Psalm 82. Yeah? Let's do this again. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges amongst the gods. Gods, more than one. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hands of the wicked. They do not know, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like man and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. I don't like the last line. I never did. Because then you come back to the question of who is that's coming to judge? Who is God? That God. That God. Who is the one that judges all the other gods? Especially when people think about God as a person. You know, that line has got so much potential for creating the wrong thing. So, but let's look at the rest. They are in darkness. They do not know, neither will they understand. I mean, by now, most Christians, most Abrahamic religions, and any other kind of blind faith following kind of teaching, I mean, people refused to see. They refused to discuss it. They don't reason, so they will not see. And all of the foundations are out of course, all the foundations of the earth. And that is the mineral, the vegetative, the animal. Everything is going skew here because of us. Because we are walking on the darkness. We do not understand. And that darkness was deliberately created. It also says, you shall die like man, fall like one of the princes. In doing what they are doing, they will die themselves. Okay, let's look at what it is they're actually doing. And here comes this line in the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus says, and he's talking about the priests in the temple. He says, they are like dogs lying on the cattle's food. They don't eat of it themselves. They don't. But they try to prevent everybody else the cattle from getting at their own food. Yeah? They're sitting on the food, scaring away the cattle. That's what they're doing in this world. Preventing them from eating, but they won't touch it themselves. And I have wondered for the longest part why. Why are they not using that knowledge? And here is, don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself. That is why they can't touch it. You cannot actually use that knowledge for bad. You can't. You can only use it for good. I want to show you this here. And it does explain the mostly psychopathic state that most of our dear leaders are in. Show you this. If we think about miracles or doing supernatural things, I said it is us moving something, doing something on our own energetic level. Again, that is the knowledge that they're holding, that we are beings of energy and light. They're trying to keep us in darkness. They're trying to tell us you're trapped in matter. There's nothing you can do. Yeah? And it is because you're sinful. Feel guilty about it. Yeah, it's all your fault. None of that is true. You are a being of light. Jesus says, in the Father and the Creator there is no judgment. Your sins are forgiven thee. Just try to do better next time around. But you will be given. So that is the knowledge they have, that we are beings of energy and light. I mean, anything spiritual was suppressed in this world, brutally suppressed. That knowledge was suppressed. And I read Carl Jung, and he said, it seems now that humanity is afraid of its own divinity. Yeah, the fear we have is of our own divinity. Is that fear, as I said in a comment, is that fear irrational, to be afraid of your own divinity? But I thought of a few hundred years of brutal suppression, it might not be completely irrational. Or at least it's still based on a memory that was very, very real. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. Carefully, I would think. Because the forces that brutally suppressed it in the first place are still here. So it might be foolish to be just running around proclaiming the light when darkness is all around you. Right, I think I digressed here from what I wanted to say. Yeah. So we are beings of energy and light. And yeah, when it comes to the miracles, when it comes to moving something on the spirit, creating an effect in this world with the power of the spirit, that means your energy is actually involved in what it is you are doing. You are involved. as an energy being. You are involved. You are connected to what it is you are doing. And here comes, if you were to really use that level of knowledge to do something destructive to somebody else, it would necessarily backfire on yourself. And that might be the cosmic law of karma on an energetic level. If the flow of your energy is connected to the outcome, then whatever the outcome is will be done to you as well. So don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself, because you will do it to yourself on that level. So they cannot use that knowledge on that level, not in order to do something evil. It would backfire on themselves. So most of this world is actually still being created, led, they rule over us on a level of knowledge, but a lower level. And that is the level of thought and emotion by which they move us, telling us truth, problem, reaction, solution. That's just basically it. They're working it on that level which is below that other level. And it's working a treat for them. Yeah? They're playing us like fiddles on that level. And here is the dark, most people don't even understand that level. They only see the material outcome and wonder what the hell. Yeah? That the thought and emotion, that's psychology, which is a knowledge of spiritual things. So they cannot use the next level, not to do evil. And they're preventing us from having that knowledge, because if we could do good to one another, for this world, they would have no more power. Yeah, they are on a level of knowledge, and the only way they can rule is that we're even more ignorant than they are, when they are already, on a quite a low level. But we must be lower than that in order to be ruled over. And here's the thing, they will die like man. They will die, because it would be the highest level that can save life, heal, do things, and they cannot use it. So the darkness that they have created in the world, they have to operate on that level themselves, in which case they die like man. And here's the lunacy of it all. Why would you? Why would you suppress the highest knowledge? To have rulership, to have dominion, to be the one in charge of everything? And in a way, could you say, for the sake of that, they are actually sacrificing eternal life or something like that? They're certainly sacrificing something just for the sake of being in control, which is a bit nuts. But, and I said before, that also does explain their psychopathic state, because they cannot be energetically involved. They cannot be. Even on giving orders to others, working on their thoughts and emotions and sending them forth to slaughter everything in front of them because it's the will of God or something stupid like that. Even by doing it, even by influencing man on that level, I think they're still doing it in a psychopathic state. If they weren't, they couldn't even give those orders, because that is not human. So now, they are detached. Our rulers are detached from the truth of this world, from the fullness of the truth of this world. They're detached from the rest of creation, from the other levels. They're detached from us. In order to have control. And maybe in their own mind they're calling that greater. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they think that is greatness. We are the detached rulers. We are above everything else. You know, the head of the pyramid that is detached from the body. And floating up there somewhere in what? Greatness? I don't know. But again, we need to get at that food. We need to understand, again, what we are. We are beings of energy and vibration. We can affect reality. But again, understand that in order to do so, you are involved. So love your neighbor as yourself, and don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself, because it will backfire on you if you use this for evil. I'm sure of that. That is why they're not using it. Why the whole world has to be in darkness, so that the one-eyed ones can be the rulers over the blind. But as it said, we're being, you know, if you say ye are gods, and everybody is shouting, oh, sinful, not the will of God, pride, I don't know what, sinful pride, scared of our own divinity, scared of the consequences of our own divinity. I mean, we should consider consequences, but we shouldn't be scared of them. Yes, I think that was the light that came into the world, because Jesus obviously practiced the knowledge on that level, the level that the priests were sitting on, that they weren't practicing themselves. He was on that level, and he was giving the knowledge to others. So the light could be in this world, the light of knowledge, the light of our own energy doing good could be in this world. And that is the Christ that should be born within all of us. The knowledge, the intention to do good, the highest knowledge if we can, so we can do good on a really high level. The kingdom is within you, and that is this world. That is this world. The kingdom of this world is within you. It is all around you. Worship me not in buildings of wood and stone. Break a piece of wood, and you will find me. Lift a stone, and I will be there. And that is life. That is the congregation of consciousness that is this world. And we are a part of it on a very low level at the moment, in darkness, on a very low level of understanding. We need to reach that higher level again and stop beating up on ourselves. We were driven into this state by, I say, those that want to have dominion, and by a brutality that was inhumane. So okay, we're scared now. And I say, even in this world now, it might not be completely unjustified. I mean, we have seen what they can do, what they're capable of. So what did Jesus say? Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Maybe that's our way. Anyway, here folks, in that spirit, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Let's hope that Christ does return to all of us. We know the knowledge within ourselves. and we start making this a better world. I leave it at that for today. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.